Tonight we examine the life and times of a man who many consider to be the finest magician ever considered. From his meteoric rise to fame to his mediocre fall from it, this is the story of a man whose brushes with greatness can only be outweighed by his greatness with brushes. Join us as we proudly present It's a Magical Life, the David Thomas story. Is that the title of this thing? That's terrible. David Thomas was born David Thomas on a hot December day in 1957. The oldest of 15 brothers and sisters, he was also the firstborn. David Thomas historian Jack Marvey.
Well, basically, David was a good kid, but it was pretty obvious from early on that there was something different about him. He was always wiggling his hands. He'd wiggle his hands and things would just appear. He had a real flair for flair.
It wouldn't take long for young David to realize that his something different was actually a yearning for the stage. In this rare footage of Frankie Ziff's 8th birthday, we see David's first motivation to pursue a career in the limelight.
There was a lot to watch that day. There was Zippo the Clown, Sir Laugh-a-Lot the Juggling Knight, Rip Taylor, but the one that got my attention was the great Waldo. Everybody loved that guy. I mean, he was always there for us kids. Just a real people person, you know. I can't think of a more willing role model for a young magician. In fact, I remember one time he actually played hide and go seek with me. And let me tell you, he was good. I really learned a lot from Waldo.
The great Waldo didn't know it then, but he had changed young David's life that day in 2 ways. First, by introducing him to the world of magic, and secondly, by turning him on to a hobby that would soon turn into a crippling addiction: hats. David wore the great Waldo's hat for most of his childhood years. Now that he knew his calling, David began to practice magic immediately. He rehearsed as a solo act until one fateful day in September 1969. September 2nd, to be exact. It was a day that David would never forget.
I'll never forget that day.
In this rare footage, we witness David's first meeting with the boy who would become his partner.
Hi, my name is David.
And my name is Ziegfeld.
Do you like magic, Ziegfeld?
Yeah, and kitty cats.
Cool. Want to make a magic show with cats?
Okay.
Why do you think that camera's here?
Things were going so well for the duo that David decided to invest in his first large-scale illusion. But that decision wasn't a popular one. David purchased the trick using money that Ziegfeld had set aside for cat toys. As we see in this rare reenactment, the argument that ensued would prove to be the undoing of the duo. Following the Ziegfeld and Dave breakup, David accomplished a great many things on his own. He finished grade school, went to college, ate many good meals, and called his mother, just to name a few. While in college, David read an ad in the paper that would change his life forever. By this time, David was so hooked on hats, he always carried a large bag of them wherever he went. David went to the audition dressed in the only formal attire he owned. It would prove to be just the right thing to impress the motley bunch then known as the townspeople. David was asked to join the group without ever singing a note. It was now time to follow David's lead and spice up the look of the group. All they needed was the right opportunity and a dose of inspiration. With a new look and a new member, the group began to tour with a new name, The Village People and Dave. As the Village People and Dave North American tour progressed, a new problem began to arise. When the 5 original members realized that the band's new name was not fitting on new theater marquees, a new decision had to be made.
Well, it was a very difficult decision, but the name had to be shortened. I mean, it was too big to fit on any of the signs. He had to go.
I never understood why they didn't just shorten the name, but still keep me in the group. You know?
Well, that would have worked, huh?
When we return, David confronts his demons and returns to the magical roots that would make him famous. After this. With his music and cheerleading careers behind him, David focused on kicking his hat addiction and starting his life all over again. In the fall of '82, he checked into the Whitey Ford Clinic for minor celebrities with major addictions. After weeks of successful treatment, David went on to become a world-class motivational speaker.
Oh, it's great. The kids are great. The money's good. Sometimes I burn my hands, but, you know, it's worth it.
Today, when we caught up with DT, we found that this man of magic still has a few tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, he's on his way now. No, don't go to 2. Go to 3. Go to 3. Everybody. I'll be right there. Magic. Go. All right, watch out. Come through. Come on in. Let's go. You got the magic now, boy. This way. Good luck, baby. Get right. Take the left, go through that door, and you'll be on stage. Good luck, David. Magic.